Alright. Hi guys. So I'm back again. Now, fair warning, or is it forewarning? Like foreshadow, or fair warning. Like, I'm being fair warning you this. Okay, either way, warning. My kids are up. They are nosy and goofy and play too much. So if you hear them, I'm sorry. Second, I have birds in my house. I'm babysitting. So if you hear screaming, more than likely it's the birds. It's not the children. And the birds like to scream because the children have gotten too close to them, or they just, I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet. I'm still learning these birds. I'm just babysitting them, so it's fine. Let me focus. So today's voice, and that's also the birds. You'll hear like random noises. It's the birds. Anyways, let me focus. So for today's behind the comic scene, or draw with me, I guess you could say, or whatever, today's video is going to be about, like, I wanted to try doing journaling, like a 30-day journal challenge. And I saw someone in a YouTube video. She was talking about like her 90-day weight loss challenge and stuff. And I've been wanting to get into like journaling and documenting stuff and like making blog posts, but like I could never stick to it because you could talk about your day, but it's like nothing happens in my life that's like worth talking about, or what does happen is the redundant, mundane things of life. So it's like there's only so often you could talk about it to where it's like, why am I even saying this? This isn't fun. I just said this. I personally don't like repeating myself, but then again, I do tend to repeat myself. I'm a very redundant person. But I didn't want to make like videos like that because I get tired of it. So I end up falling off the wagon whenever I try to do like 30-day journal journeys, or trying to like write in my diary, or wanted to do blog posts, because that's another thing. Usually like when I see blog posts or people that do blog posts, they have something to give. They have information, they have knowledge. I have none of those things. I have words and I have my weird way of thinking. So when I watched her video, and also I lose track, my train of thought is terrible, so it's like I can't even stick to a thought. But anyways, so I saw the girl in her YouTube video and how she was doing like this 90-day challenge, and which got my fire going to where I'm like, I want to do a challenge too. So I was like, okay, well, I'll just do a journaling challenge. And I've already, again, I've tried and failed, but I'm going to try it again. So this time I decided to look up journal prompts. And, well, first I looked up how to journal, and it was a lot of like the basic things. So this is how you journal. You just journal, you write. And it's like, okay, well, I knew that, but like, what do I say? My fault for not being specific with my question. I get it. So I looked up journal prompts because that's what I struggle with. I don't know what to write about. So I logged into handy dandy Pinterest, found some journal prompts, and picked out whichever one, kind of spoke to me the most. Because sometimes some of the prompts are like, I don't care, or I don't remember. Like, there was one that was like, what did you want to be as a kid? I'm like, I don't remember a lot of stuff I did as a kid. But I digress. Focus. So one of the prompts that I saw was, they had a good question. What are your short-term goals? So I was like, let me go ahead and start my day one of journaling by answering that question. What are my short-term goals? But as I do, since I'm an overthinker, I started wondering, what is a short-term goal? Like, how short is short-term? Like, because like what I think is short-term is someone's long-term, but then when someone mentions their long-term, I'm like, no, when someone mentions their short term, I'm like, that's pretty long. So I had to like hop on to Google and I found out through like some Google searches and pages and stuff, let me pull it up, that apparently a short-term goal means something that you can like achieve within a day, a week, a month, or even a year. I think the year is like the max. Like anything up and above a year it goes on to I cannot talk. It goes on to long-term goal type things. So I was like, okay, bet I can do that. So, I also read something where they're like, my short-term goal is to increase my salary. And it's like, how can you do that? Like, I want that kind of confidence to where it's like, I'm going to increase my money by 10%. And it's like, tell me how you do that, because how? Like, you could be like, oh, I want to sell more, which will then, like the steps you would take, like, okay, well, to increase your salary, you'd have to sell more or ship more. Well, shipping stuff is people buying stuff, which is this people selling stuff. So like basically you have to sell more, but then that involves like an outside like variable. Someone has to want to buy it. And it's like, how do you get people to buy it if they're not going to buy it? So it's like, isn't that like a goal that's out of your control? But then again, some people will be like, well, that's why you just market to the masses and stuff. And it's like, oh no, I'm not doing all of that. Why did I say that? Oh, I said that because I thought that just interested me. I'm like, how is that a short-term goal? It seems like something that will be out of my control. But some people, they achieve that goal, and kudos to them, because I don't have the confidence. And it's just, I don't know, it's not an interest of mine. I don't know. I'm like, I would like, financial freedom and stuff, but it's not really the finances that are stopping me. My goals aren't really, like, I can't say that my goals aren't really hindered by the financial baggage, because I can still draw. Like, if I'm like flat broke, I can steal a piece of paper and draw. Stealing is bad, so let me rephrase that. I can borrow a piece of paper and draw. But I digress again. You see, my thinking just goes out the window. But anyways, so my short-term goals. Now that I know that a short-term goal is something that you can achieve within like a day, a week, a month, a year, now I know what to like pick out from all the different ideas in my head of what I want to achieve. And I have like a plethora of different ideas, but we're going to stick within one category, which will be like, what goals do I have for my comic? Because like I have different goals for my life, my health, my mental health. I have different goals for like my family, stuff like that. But we're going to focus on my goals. What are my goals for? What are my Wow. What are my short-term goals for my comics? Wow. You guys, please don't leave. I'm sorry. I'm gonna get it together. So, I wrote this in a blog post. I'm like, this is gonna be perfect. So, you know what? No, that's also my short-term goal. This right here, I want to do like a 30-day journal thing. And how that ties in to comics is I would like to like document how I go about, creating comics. But like creating comics is not much of a short-term thing as it is a long-term thing, because it takes a long time, like years, to finish this stuff. So let's just squeeze it down just a little teeny tiny. I'm going to document how I finish a comic episode. See? Well, that's you can finish a couple episodes within a year's time or whatever. Not the whole story. Well, I can finish a comic in a short-term style type thing. I mean, I could finish a whole entire story within a short term, but I want to make sure I'm enjoying it at a pace that's like maintainable and fun. Okay, I still have yet to really talk about what my short-term goal is. So anyways, the journal, I want to do like a 30-day journal thing and use those prompts to help me find topics to talk about that are relevant and that actually give value to where someone, and I'm not like give value and where like, oh, what is going off? Not like give value to where it's like I'm increasing your knowledge on something, because I don't, like I said, I don't have much knowledge to give, but more so adding value into where it's like, hey, I'm struggling with this, or hey, here's this certain thing maybe you might find relatable too. And then they'll be like, hey, yeah, I find that relatable too. I do that too. It's like, hey, yay, we're not alone then, twinsies. Like that kind of value. I see that as value. Like when I see somebody wearing like a shirt of a character that I like, I'm like, hey, I like that character too. And they're like, really? I'm like, yeah, it's awesome. Boom, value was added because we are now both happy because we have matching shirts, or we both like the same thing. I don't know. It makes sense in my head. I just can't verbalize it. But anyways, as I was saying, 30-day journal. I want to do a 30-day journal journey challenge. Day 1 starts today. Prompt that I'm filling out: what are my short-term goals? I'm going to scroll down my blog post and read my short-term goals before I go on another tangent. So, my short-term goals, I cannot say that. Speech class just did not help me very much as a kid because I'm still struggling with my S's and my T's. Okay, so my first short-term goal is finish the next script for my webtoon, Catch Me, Fight Me, Love Me. Dude, I am about to go on another tangent, but I am thoroughly shocked by people that can like finish a webtoon and like finish like a script in like a week. Cause like that thing takes me so long, cause I be forgetting what the story's about on like multiple occasions. And it's not like I don't know what the story's about. It's just like with my mind, I just like it drifts off. Like it just starts to think of like, it's like I'm walking down on a straight path, and then I see another path, and then I go, oh, well, this path is important, I should cover this too. And then I get sidetracked because then another path splits off from that path. I'm like, oh, well, I should also cover this too because later on down the road, this is important too. So it's like I've strayed away from the main path because I've been trying to fill in the gaps of all these other paths that I find, and I just get lost. And then I forget, what is the story about? And so that's why I'm like shocked. It takes me like a week. Sometimes it takes me a week. Sometimes if it's a good day, it takes me like 3 days. But it takes me a while to be able to come up with the next chapter because I gotta do this whole entire routine to where I'm pulling my mind back and not worried about filling in the foreshadows and answering questions that might come up in the future so that everything is clear. Like, no, dude, you focus on answering this one question. This happened in the last episode, and this happened because of the one question from the start of the episode of the whole story. So we're going to focus on that one question instead of going off into all the other questions that end up exploding just because you answered the first one question. No, just keep answering the first one question. I can't explain it. It's a struggle. And I'm thoroughly impressed with people that can just like come up with the script weekly, and it's like, boom, got the script, let's get started. Like once I have the script, the thumbnailing and the inking, the thumbnailing, the rough draft and the inking, all that, I'm like, that's Gucci, I can do that. Boom, it's good. It's just that writing. So my short-term goal is to finish the next script for Catch Me, Fight Me, Love Me webtoon. Which is why I've given instead of doing weekly updates, I give myself a month because it's a struggle just trying to figure out the next webtoon and just get my brain back to like, you need to focus on this one thing. I swear to God, if you don't sit down and focus, you need to focus. Like I'm having that struggle right now. It's okay though, because I'm going to keep trying. That's just how my brain works. So ain't nothing wrong with me. It's just how my brain works. It's fine. I'm telling myself it's fine because why not? I need to be nice to myself. So it's fine. You're doing fine, Jamie. Don't worry. It's fine. So that was my first short-term goal. I have like 3, so let me stop rambling. My next one, I want to draw more daily doodles to go along with my journal entries. Now, this one is going to be a little difficult because some days I'm like, I don't want to draw nothing. Or some days I can't, like, I'm frustrated, so I can't think of, like, cute, funny stuff to draw. And usually if I end up drawing something that's either emotional or petty, or it's just like, I ain't drawing nothing. Like, it's just like a vehement anger of, like, I'm not drawing anything. And it's like, why? Why is there so much animosity? It's doodle. If you don't want to draw it, don't draw it. Don't get so angry. It's like, don't tell me not to get angry. Don't. So that's the struggle that I face, that I probably am going to face with my daily doodle ones, is trying to get over the emotional hurdles that will hit me to where I don't want to draw. Now, my next short-term goal, I'm not really providing myself much. I'll worry about the solutions to that. Right now, we're just listing out our goals. My next short-term goal is do a 30-day journal challenge on my website. So basically, I would like to draw more blog posts on my website and use the journal prompts. And it's like, boom, I have my online diary. It's like a documentation. So maybe, in the future, if my kids find it, and I'm dead and stuff, and they're like, oh, this is what mom was doing. Wow, it's a little weird. I guess that's where we get it from. They'll be, I don't know. It's like a nice, what is it, lineage? I don't know. I like finding journals and notebooks and reading it. It's like a nice nosy thing. Us humans are nosy. We nosy. We just want to know what you've been doing, what you were thinking, where you went, what you ate. It's just weird, but it's a human thing. So I was like, I want to document that so that either my offspring's offspring or just random people out in the world are kind of curious on I wonder what this human was doing. Boom, here it is. Here's what I was doing for the last 30 days. It's like I'm a stay-at-home mom who's trying to do webtoons and trying to just live life in a happy, mindful way. So it's like I don't really have a theory. My life's not that exciting. But I'm going to share it nonetheless because I want to, in a fun way that adds value or just adds something. Anyways, last one. Do more voiceover videos for my YouTube. My mic, dude, it was acting weird, static and everything. I'm like, what's wrong with this? Why you acting like that? You shouldn't be acting like that. You need to get it together. I couldn't figure it out. I had to unplug it, plug it back in. Still wasn't working. And I'm like, I'm not finna let this mic thing be the thing that's gonna stop me from doing voiceovers, because y'all just gonna have to hear the static. But thankfully, it plugged back in and the static was gone. I'm like, hey, look at that. Look at God. Hallelujah. So I'm going to try to use the story prompts, the journal prompts, to help me find topics to talk about within these voiceover videos. Because again, I don't know what to talk about. I'm not good with small talk. I can ramble on a subject that's important to me, but it's it's finding the subject that's hard, which is weird because it's there's so many things that interest me, but trying to find one thing, it's I don't know. It's just weird. Anyone else struggle with that? Anyways, so that's my short-term goals. I have talked for 18 minutes. It's okay. It's alright. It's fine. This is a video that hopefully can be used as background noise to when you're drawing. So you guys are drawing as I am doing a recording of myself drawing, and it's fun. It's like Bob Ross. Dude, I loved Bob Ross. And he was just talking. He was what is it? He's the podcasters for the 80s or something. But anyway, he talked and he paid and he talked some more. I loved Bob Ross. I just love that energy. Oh my God. So I'm hoping that maybe my little videos will be like that to you guys. So those are my short-term goals. And again, a short-term goal is something that I can achieve within a day, a week, a month, or a year. And I already listed what my short-term goals were, which I could achieve in a day, or a week, or a month. This one is going to be a month. And yeah, so let me know what some of your guys' comic-related short-term goals are, because I'd like to have a conversation with you, but I'm not very good at making small talk, but if it's about comics, I mean, I'm still not good at making talk about comics either. And of course, the children are fighting. I'm not good at making small talk around comics either, but I can give it a try because usually I'll stumble upon something that's like, hey, yay. So if you have short-term goals for like your comic endeavors or your creative endeavors, I like creative stuff, or your art endeavors, let me know. Or if you haven't made a short-term goal, then go ahead and think of some short-term goals you'd like to reach and let me know in the comment section below what they are, because I was curious and nosy, because us humans is nosy beings. We nosy. Okay, so that's all. Again, you can read my website, Catch Me, Fight Me, Love Me. Wow, you can read my webtoon. Catch Me, Fight Me, Love Me on my website and on my Patreon. It's free to read, no paywall. Don't worry about that. I update it a little bit faster on my website and on my Patreon because I don't really have to deal with the painful comments of people being like, where's the next update, as I do with the other platforms. They need more of a, it's not painful, but they need more, it's like I see it as like little babies. They need more, not bad babies, but like little children. They need more consistency, and it probably triggers their anxiety when the webtoon hasn't updated when it said it's going to update. So I usually stick to monthly updates on webtoons. That's something that I'm consistent with, and that should not trigger them to worry about where's the update. It's right here. I can be consistent in that. On my website and on my Patreon, I may update it a little bit sooner, and they just know that I'm going to update eventually, so it doesn't seem to trigger their anxiety too much. So it's more of a relaxed, I can feel free to update more not consistently. I feel free to update it more often, so that, what am I saying? I feel more comfortable updating it on my website and on my Patreon more often because they don't seem to get too frazzled about going into the mindset that, okay, since she updated it twice this month, she's going to update it twice again next month. No, they more so are like, okay, well, we got a extra update, yay, and then they just kind of keep moving like that. And so that's why I will end up updating it, as it's finished at times on my Patreon and on my website, as opposed to just keeping it consistently once a month on Webtoon and Tapastic. Did I explain that correctly enough? I suck with words. Okay, the video's almost done. I hope you guys enjoyed today's voiceover and today's drawing thing. Oh, my website, it's S-morishita Studio.com. I have the links below in the description box. So I hope you have a great day, and I will talk to you guys again in another rambly. It was rambly. Hopefully it was useful. But I'll talk to you guys again. Okay. Bye. Thank you for stopping by. You're the best. Bye-bye.